Good morning and welcome to Coloritaville. My name is Rene. I am the Pencil Princess, and today we are going to talk about my hoard of colored pencils. Well, one of the colored pencils in my hoard anyway. Today we're going to be talking about the Faber Castell Polychromos. This is one of my favorite pencils, so you will notice that some of them are very short. I do use these a lot. I do have the full 120 set, and they're all swatched out here. They have a great amount of colors, ranging from your yellows to your reds into your pinks and purples, the blues, great skin tones up here, some really nice browns, and a lot of greens. It's got quite a few greens and a really good selection of grays. So you're not stuck with one cold gray, one warm gray, your Payne's gray and your black and coal and whatnot. It also has a pretty good silver, gold, and copper. The gold is a little bit more brown, gray kind of gold than I prefer. I prefer a yellow gold. So I don't use that pencil a lot unless I'm outlining, and then I'll use a different gold pencil over top of it or shadowing with it. So that is my color chart, and that is a color chart that you can download from Faber-Castell, and they will give you this for free when you go to their site. All right, so let's take a look at these bad boys. So I have them all in order, the same as they are on my color swatch. Is that one broken? I think I broke one. Oh no. It is. At some point, I have gouged that pencil. I don't know how. I'm going to have to see if I can sharpen that gouge out. Just 1 second, because it's going to bug me until I do. So this pencil sharpener is a wonderful pencil sharpener. It's a Dahl 133. Yeah, and it got most of it out. So it's just a little gouge in the wood. It's not a break all the way through the pencil, which is good because, yeah, that would have made me sad. But they sharpen beautifully. They are very centered in their cores. They're a nice thick pencil. The core of this pencil is really thick, and they are very soft. They're not as soft as a Prisma, but they do lay down very, very smooth. There isn't a lot I don't like about these pencils. They are name and numbered. The only thing I really don't like about this pencil is the way their names and numbers are. They're done in a metallic paint, and sometimes when you have a light on, it's really, really hard to see what color you're pulling up, because it reflects so much light, and that could just be my eyes, so that may not even be a problem with the pencils themselves, maybe a problem with me, which is very possible. Like I said, they've got a lot of greens, and I use these all the time, so you'll see some of my pencils, like some of these blues, are very short. This is a sky blue, so I use it constantly. Some of my greens are quite short as well. My grass green, my leaf green, all those ones. I use a lot of skin tones out of this as well. I use this set a lot. But as you can see, they fit quite nicely in my pencil case here. This is the metallics, the silver, gold, and bronze. And as you can see with the gold, it's not a very yellowy gold, and I'll show you on a picture how that actually colors, because it does color with a deeper brown color. They're not as pigmented as the rest of the Faber Castell's um, set, which is a little bit, it'll do type of thing, instead of a, ooh, that's a really gold color, I really like that. The one thing that I do like is they also have this pencil, and this pencil is called green gold, and it is not a metallic, but it is a very yellow gold. So what I would do in most circumstances when I'm using a gold color out of the Faber Castells is I'll color with this, and then I'll go over it with the metallic gold just to give it that metallic shine, or I'll use the metallic gold to put in the shadows and use the green gold over top of it to give it that yellow gold look. But those are my Faber Castells. We're going to use them today on a picture out of Joanna Bashford's free book that she put out for the coronavirus. And I chose this picture because it does have several different pictures, and it will make swatching and showing you how well the pencils work in my hoard, because it has lots of little pictures. So the next set will be done here, and that way I can keep them all on one page and show you more of what we did last time with the mandala. With the Christmas mandala is, move it around the page so that you can see the differences between the different sets of pencils. So today we're going to color this one, and I'm going to switch you over to the other camera so you can see a close-up of that. Okay, there we go. Now, this one's got some areas that we're going to do in blues and greens, as well as, let's see, what color should we? Yeah, blues and greens and maybe some aquas. Maybe a little bit of yellow, I'm not sure. Sometimes you look at things and think, oh, that's a dragonfly. And then you look at it again and go, maybe it's a butterfly or a moth, or it looks like a dragonfly because of the long tail area. So that's what I'm going to color it as, is a dragonfly. So the first color that we're going to use is cobalt green, which is number 156. And as you can see, the core is nice and thick. It's centered right in. There's no wood crawling up the side of the pencil, nothing like that. We're just going to color these little areas here, and it's, if you can see it, it goes down so smooth. It fills in the whole area really quickly without a lot of white spot. This is done on 67 pound cardstock is what I have printed this out on. I'm just gonna fill in these little areas here. Now, I do apologize. I don't have the light on because it does make it awfully bright for you guys. And it helps me a lot because then I can see what I'm doing. But it does wash out the picture quite a bit for you guys. So I'm going to turn it on just long enough to color this, and then I'll turn it off and show you actually the actual colors of the pencils and how they look. Now, if my hand is in your way, I do apologize. this is a fairly small picture, so I may have to have my hand in the way just to color it in properly. I hope everybody's doing well today. I know that out here it's one of those days where it's actually starting to calm down a little bit with the wildfires and everything else. So I'm starting to feel a little bit better. Yesterday I had a horrible headache all day, but the wildfires are starting to settle down a little bit. We're starting to get a little bit of rain on the coast, so it's starting to give me a little bit more breathing space. They've downgraded most of the evacuation orders, including ours, so which I am so pleased with. I'm not going to have to worry about packing it, everything as quickly as I can into the RV and getting out. So unfortunately, we did have one family member lose their home, but we'll help him out the best we can. All right, so the next color that I'm using down here on these bottom parts here is cobalt turquoise, which is in the blue family instead of the green family of the seafoam colors. It's actually a really pretty color. And I'm just going to add a little bit of it to the edges of this lighter cobalt green color. I'm sorry, I do have my phone on so I can receive emails and text messages so I can stay informed on the wildfires, just in case something happens and I need to contact somebody. So you may hear my phone go off every once in a while, and I do apologize about that. But with this situation, I can't really turn it off, sorry. Okay, so we've got that coloring done. Now we're going to grab a darker blue color. I think I'm going to go with helio turquoise. Hopefully this is a little bit darker than the other ones. And I'm just going to go into the bottom here. Try to stay in the lines, Rene. And I'm just adding that little bit of shadow down here and up here around the edges. This is going to be a very colorful dragonfly. All right, now we're going to use Hooker's green. Just going to give these areas here around the body a little bit of a dark green color. And we're just going to go out the edges a little bit on the center part of these wings. Yes, and this color is actually called Hooker green. And it is number 159. Okay. Just waking up these lines a little bit. Alrighty. Now we're going to take this, what color is this? A light cobalt turquoise. And we're just going to go into that green and spread it around a little bit with this light turquoise. And I will turn that light off here in a little bit just to show you what that looks like. The pencils are beautiful. They go on so smooth and so quick. It makes coloring with pencils so much more enjoyable because you're not constantly going, oh, that doesn't look right. That doesn't look right. It all depends upon what paper you're using them on, of course. I do find that they work better on the cardstock than on coloring book paper. So a lot of times dependent upon the coloring book because there are different, sorry, that was completely out of your view. Depending upon the coloring book, some coloring books have really, really nice smooth paper that these just go on like a dream. And some coloring books have a very heavy tooth to the paper where these are necessary to be layered a lot. You can't really cut through that tooth as much with this soft pencil, which is fine. You know, sometimes layering can be fun. I do, that's one of the reasons why I have such a hoard of pencils, because different paper requires different tools. And in my journey to find all the right tools for all the coloring books I have has led me to a very large amount of colored pencils in my arsenal. And I won't, a lot of people call it a hoard. A lot of people say that I've gone overboard on it. And they're pretty. You know, I don't like diamonds or jewelry. I don't wear very much jewelry. I don't see any necessity to, have things sparkling on me all the time. So, you know, my husband takes it as, okay, it's the most expensive set of pencils I think I have is the Holbeins, where if I had bought a diamond ring, it would have been more expensive than the Holbeins. And how often would I wear it? I don't go out of the house a whole lot. I swell a lot, so wearing rings and things like that sometimes can be dangerous. So what's the point of buying a whole bunch of things that I'm never going to wear or use? Is my thoughts on it. And luckily I have a husband who strongly agrees with anything I think. Yeah, I am, and a lot of people say it all the time, is I am a spoiled princess. It's just a fact of life. Um, my husband is very adoring, and I adore him, and we spoil each other. So now I'm looking for a nice color to go with this cobalt green here, so that it doesn't just look like a blue picture. So just give me a second here. I've got my handy dandy color wheel, and that's what I thought is a nice red violet color. So that's what we're going to use, is this one here, which is manganese violet. And I'm just going to bring in a little bit of color into those wings a little bit. Because what's the point with if you can't color it, right? There, that's better. I'll just turn it the other way so you guys can see it better, instead of putting my hand over it so you can't see it. Wasn't that nice of me? All right. So we're almost done here with this wonderful little dragonfly. So as you can see, the colors blend well into each other. I blended the green into the blue and some of the darker turquoises into the light turquoise. And I'm going to take a redder violet color or maybe it's pinker, I'm not sure, but a brighter color, and I'm just going to do little bits in here just to brighten this up a little bit. I love this color, but sometimes it just looks kind of dull. And I think it may be just me. I got a new set of markers today, and just sorting them out, all the bright, pretty colors is maybe I'm just not feeling the darker colors today. And there are some days where it just feels that way. Something just doesn't look right. The darker colors aren't popping enough for you. So you just throw in an extra color. And I'm going to throw a little bit of crimson in here just to brighten it up a little bit. And all it did was make it darker, so that's fine. We'll just do it here. Okay. So we'll throw a little bit of crimson there, and then we'll, let's see, this one maybe. Not liking the way that looks, so. And that's the great thing about colored pencils is if you don't like the way something looks, grab a different pencil and change the color of anything with a different color. It's really, really difficult to do that with markers, I find anyway. But I'm not as versed in markers as a lot of people, so. And that is looking kind of purple, but it's not. It's actually a reddish purpley color, so. Just going to go over that just to brighten it up a little bit. And if I really wanted to, I could easily grab my Faber Castell eraser and just go over top of it and dull it down quite a bit and go over it with a brighter pinky color. Now we're going to do the body in a brown. And I think we're going to use a nice light brown with a little bit of a darker edge here. So I've got raw umber and walnut. Now we'll see if we'll be able to put the walnut on there because this is a very small picture and these cores are quite thick. And sometimes with these smaller areas, like this one, trying to get a shadow color in there can be difficult. So we'll give it a shot anyway, because that's what we do. And I don't want to overtake that light color. I just want to give it a bit of an enhancement. There we go. All right, so that is that part done. Now we need leaf green, which is right here. And it needs a sharpen. So of course we've got our handy dandy doll 133. And give it a good sharpen. Get a nice point on there. And we're just going to go over these cute little leaves here. Now I will go back over the light with a darker color just to give it a bit of a contrast for those ones that have a little bit of a divot and shadows. Now I'm leaving the little ball things, anything that doesn't look like a leaf, I'm leaving it alone. I will go and color those in with a different color. Okay, now we need a little bit darker, so we're going to go with permanent green. We're just going to sharpen this up because it doesn't have quite enough of a point. I want a really, really sharp point on that because these are really small. So that's pretty good. And what I'm just doing is I'm just going around the areas where I want a little bit of the shadow, like in these little lines here, and where they cross over each other. Just to give it enough of, hey, this isn't a flat leaf look. All right, now let's take a look at one of our reds here, because that's what we're going to do is we're going to take a red and we're going to do the little dots, and we're going to use middle cadmium red for the little dots, just because it's a great red color. Makes everything look like little berries. Okay. Now we're just going to take this and we're just going to go around the edge of the vine. There we go. And there is our Faber Castell colored dragonfly. So we're going to put Faber Castell under that. And the next one we're going to do, just to give you a bit of a sneak peek, the next one in my group of wonderful pencils is, let's see if I can spell it right. The Fila is the next ones that we will be taking a look at. So until we get to the Filas next time, thank you so much for watching. Of course, relax, color, and stay safe. With that, thank you. Bye-bye for now.